G'day guys, it's Friday. So how do you subconsciously see yourself? Okay, it's not consciously because of the projections that we put out there, but the subconsciousness that deep down that you feel that you are. Now why I brought this up is because I was having a think, because this week there was like $100 million in the lotto that was up for grabs, and a lot of people it would be nice and they plan on a lot of stuff that they do if they win the lotto. But then when you look back at all the statistics about people that win the lottos, is that usually within like a year, 2 years or something, they've lost it all, no matter how much money that they've won. That most of them, not all of them, most of them lose that money and they're back to where they started, if not worse. And the theory is that their mind has not shifted to a place where they feel that they deserve that win. And so that, if for your whole life you are poor, broke, drunk, good for nothing, and that was the environment you came up with, that's your subconscious mind there. So when you actually win the lotto, you're still in that state. You haven't changed that state at all. So your mind and you subconsciously recreate that, so that you end up drinking too much, you take the drugs, you make poor decisions, and that really reflects, I guess, the whole thing of where you actually need to get your mind right. Really need to know yourself, and in order to really, I guess, dreaming is one thing and getting what you want, setting goals, and here's the juxtapose and the contradictions and trying to get those clear in your head, because we as people are generally contextual beings where we can generally make blanket statements, and I really don't like blanket statements. The all or generalization of all dogs bark. Well, not all dogs bark. All cats purr. No, I'll tell you this though, not all cats purr. Like little cats purr, but your bigger cats, they don't purr, and beyond a certain size they don't purr, because some of the little big cats do actually purr. So there's always exceptions to the rule, and generalizations actually in general suck. But getting back to my point, which I'm not sure there always is a point, how do you see yourself? What is it that you are subconsciously projecting to people? You get this a lot when you get guys that go, okay, how come I can never get a date? Girls, how come I can never find things? Who are these people that I'm attracting that I don't like? I said, well, subconsciously, do you feel like you don't deserve, or you do deserve, whatever you're getting? And what is the thinking, or that point in time where an incident happened that it changed your mind, your thinking so much that this is what you've convinced yourself is going to happen? As a friend of mine who recently had a breakthrough about certain instances that happened that have formed a lot of what he does, says, and that throughout the whole years, and he spent his whole life, thinking about that or reacting to that incident. But when it came down to it, that was an incident that was really causing a detrimental effect to some of the relationships and things that he wanted to do in life. And one case in point is some guy. He was a dentist. He studied when he was 4 years old. He decided he wanted to be a dentist, and he studied, went to become a dentist, and then he started working long hours and all sorts of other stuff. He couldn't see his kids, his family. He didn't like it. And he was talking to one of his patients, and he said, they were just talking, general talking, how he liked it. And he said, I didn't like it so much. And I says, okay, so you made this decision when you were 4 years old, yeah? Now that you're an adult, would you let a 4-year-old tell you what to do? And the answer was, well, no, I wouldn't let a 4-year-old tell me what to do. He says, well, why are you letting that 4-year-old back then telling you how to live your life now as a dentist? And for him, that was something that was really profound, in that at that point in time when that thinking was going on in his head. What age was he at, and why is he letting that completely change and rule his life? Why is he letting a 4-year-old tell him what to do? You know. So, how you see yourself in what you subconsciously project is also eventually what other people will see yourself as, and that's kind of what you attract. It's all subconscious, which means it's very difficult for you to come to realizations and sort yourself out that way. But you ever think about things where you were just so adamant, where, you know, a couple of incidences in your life, recent or further back, formulated what you wanted to do and how you lived your life. They're not all bad. I'll point this out now. They're not all bad, because there's some instances in life, and some of them for more recently, especially for me, where I was like, you know what, that kind of sucked, or that was really good. I'm going to do something about that. I'm going to keep going on with that because it had a good result and it gets me where I want to go. Or that was a bad thing, but this good thing that I found from that is, this is what I'm going to do and build that into my life. And this can always be revisited later on, because, you know, you evolve, you change, and as you go along you learn more about yourself and more about the environment and what you want to do, and, you know, your values and goals shift. So maintaining the core of you is an awesome thing. So how you see yourself, I think about that on the weekend, and that affects how other people will see you as well, because subconsciously you project that. The whole desperation thing, when people goes, okay, well, I'm feeling happy and blah 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 blah, goes, yeah, but that's an underlying desperation for some people, or underlying confidence, despite the fact that some people are desperate at that point in time. So how do you see yourself? How do you project? There's plenty of people out there in the world that they wear a mask and they're not fully in line with themselves. So I'm gonna keep on walking and see some pretty dogs. Okay, see ya. Love you guys. Bye.